Today's episode comes to you thanks to our sponsor, Kangen Water. Electrolyte-reduced water is the power of true hydration, manifested in the most advanced Japanese technology that has been in the market for more than 50 years. To drink the best water, shower with a hot spring quality water, and start a new business with the most amazing and profitable compensation plan in the world, visit thelivingwatercouple.com to learn more or get started today.
Welcome to a brand new experience with innovative voices from all over the world. I would like to invite you all to something that is magical, something that is powerful, and something that is from my heart. This is the Devon Taylor Podcast. Hello all, and welcome to another episode of the Devon Taylor Podcast, where we have guests from all around the world tell their unique and powerful stories to not only allow their voice to be heard, but for you to leave feeling inspired. I am so grateful for our next guest that is here joining us. She is a guest with many talents. She is a breathwork facilitator, an astrologer, as well as a manifestations coach, and a podcaster. So I am happy to welcome Adrienne. Hello.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show. I'm super grateful for you being here. If you guys have seen the show, you guys know what we do. We ask, the history of our guest and how they got into their work. So really my first question for you, Adrienne, is just how did you get into your field of work? What's your background? Can you just give us kind of like a little rundown so we can get to know you a little better?
Oh yeah, well, how much time do you have? So what I do right now is really just an expression of a combination of every single thing I discovered to help me on my path, return to my original state. Because I, like all of us, we arrive in this lifetime in our original state, and then shit happens and we get programmed. There's lived experience. We have stuff from our bloodline. And it gets coded into our cells. Basically, how I got into my work is I was raised in a classical music family, very competitive, very magical and just artistic, but also very competitive and I started doing, I would say, extreme competition when I was 4 and 5. So I took that all the way through my undergraduate degree and my master's, and I was gigging professionally. And in my childhood, I went to church and I believed in God and I knew God. And, it took me a long time to say the word God after everything I've been through. But, source, creator, the thing that connects us all. And I had a lot of experiences in the church where I was like, if that's what God is, fuck that. Like, my mom's best friend was gay, but we couldn't tell anybody because she might lose her job, and all of that is just things. I had a very visceral response to the darkness that exists in that space. And so I just cut everything out altogether. And so then I got really deep into my music journey. I was really successful. I was competing. I was crushing it. And I also was struggling with addiction. And that lasted for 10 years. And I just had I started meditating because I wanted to win auditions. It wasn't because I wanted myself. It was because I wanted to have command of my mind. And I accidentally started loving myself through that process and accidentally reopened the spiritual door. So from there, it was all bets are off. I've always been into personal development and growth, but Yeah, and from there I did my yoga teacher training. Going through COVID was a big spiritual initiation. I was so grateful that I was already like meditating for an hour a day for years at that point. So I really I did a lot in the pandemic. It didn't hit me as hard as a lot of people because I had tools and habits. And then I discovered breathwork, holotropic breathwork, and that's when I really catapulted everything forward because I was getting to the bedrock of my nervous system, my sexual trauma, my addiction. Like, I had a really bad car accident stored in my body, and I fused it all with astrology because this whole time I'm studying astrology as well. And then I start sharing it with others, and now it's like all my clients quantum leap. I see them create amazing, amazing results. I see them win as their real self. And then they're building their dreams because I'm on divine assignment here. And when we each self actualize and create our dream with our full potential, that's when we make a world we're proud of. Every single one of us doing that. So that's my purpose. That's a bit about me and my work. What got me here? I know that's a long-winded answer.
No, I love it. I mean, it made my brain go like that with so many questions as you were talking, because that's pretty amazing. Like, first, I kind of want to, I'm going to just ask it, like, what do you mean by accidentally? Like, how did that, what makes it feel accidental about to you?
Which part? You mean when I started meditating again?
Yeah, like you were like, I accidentally kind of fell into everything. Like, what about
Well,
it? Do you feel as an
it
accident?
was a strategic move. I like to say, it was desperation and data that brought me to meditation, not enlightenment, because
Wow.
I kept reading all these personal development books and all these people that were like crushing it. They're like, yeah, I meditate. Yeah, I meditate. I'm like, fuck, that's annoying. And then I was desperate to win auditions. I was like, I'm here to win. I'm here to be the best I can be. If I need to meditate to do that, I'll do that. I'll just add it to my training, because I've always been very disciplined. I was an athlete growing up, with music. I'm a Capricorn stellium, Virgo stellium, Taurus rising. Like, I thrive in structure and discipline. It like turns me on. So I just added it to my training, and I didn't realize that it was going to open this portal of like, oh, loving myself, oh, respecting myself, like reconnecting with source, redefining my relationship with source without like totally separate from the church, because that wasn't something I ever experienced growing up. Not that I talked about anyways. Like, I definitely saw spirits and everything growing up. Because I'm a shaman. I was shaman many, many lifetimes. But I did go through my official training in this lifetime. But yeah, accidentally, it wasn't an accident. It was deliberate, but it was not for the reason of like, oh, I'm going to go on this spiritual path and my whole life's going to change. It was like, this is a means to an end, basically.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'd love if you could, for anyone that's listening, because you did mention breath work, how can you explain breath work and like the benefits people receive from doing it?
Yeah, so I first want to preface it that breathwork has become a buzzword, and everybody says it, and rare is the soul who actually knows what they're talking about. So be in deep discernment about it. People say breathwork, and they'll be talking about anything from like ujjayi, yoga breathing, Wim Hof, box breathing, alternate nostril breathing, and all of it does fall under the umbrella, but a breathwork journey, which is something that I do, is an offshoot of holotropic breathwork. It's a style of conscious connected breathing where you actively activate altered states of consciousness. You actively Like you deliberately use your vagus nerve to light up the part of your brain that stores trauma and your subconscious, which controls 95% of your decisions. It's the same part of the brain that releases DMT, which is why people have psychedelic experiences. It's like, I don't need to go microdose. I can lay down and do a breathwork journey and have an incredible experience that I'm fully empowered in. So what are the benefits of this? Is the style of breathwork that I do. It's an offshoot of holotropic. I combine it with astrology. I've created my own modality with it, but it's deep, potent nervous system reset, recalibrate, reset. It's a somatic release. And it really is, if you've heard of that book, The Body Keeps the Score, you're never going to outfox the body. You're never going to outwill the body. You're never going to outthink the body. That's why I said I'm a money magnet for 5 years before I ever started stacking any kind of cash in a way that felt good in my soul purpose, you know? So what are the benefits? You reunite with your soul as the real you. Mm. And it's fully empowered. That's what I love about breathwork. This is another reason why, like, can I do, that's called Bastrika. That's another style of breathwork. I can do that for, 5 minutes and change my state, but nothing will touch the deep layers of your nervous system like a holotropic breathwork journey. And it's called a journey for a reason, because you are going on a psychedelic journey and you become your own healer. And it's fully empowered because you take every single breath. You're not outsourcing your power to plant medicine. And then guess what? Not only do you heal your nervous system and align the 95% of your potential with the power of your mind, so you can actually live and create at your full wattage. You trust yourself. You believe in yourself, because you're like, well, yeah, I met resistance and I kept breathing. I believe in me. Like I did this, and it closes that gap, because the biggest issue people have is that they're not being the person they say they are. They're not being the person they respect. People don't trust themselves, respect themselves, or love themselves because there's a gap between what they know is correct and what they actually do in their life. So this closes all of that. Because if you're someone who all day you're like, let's just use health for an example because it's super common. Okay, I'm going to go work out. And you know it's good for you and you know it's correct and all of that. And then you're like, oh, not today, not today, not today. You're literally breaking your own boundaries. You're breaking your own word with yourself. This is why people don't trust themselves. This is why people have imposter syndrome. This is why people don't even respect themselves. And so in breath work, you heal all of that. Especially when you have a powerful facilitator that can hold you high and help you keep going. And just like, no one's doing it for you though. You're doing it. And then it's like, you get all these downloads during it too. It's just, I could go on and on and on. It changed my life this morning. I was so far up my own asshole in my mind. I was having all of these things. And then I was like, yo, let's breathe. And it wasn't that long. It was like 20 minutes. Full clarity, full knowing, trust. And then I took a bunch of big, massive action after that. And yeah.
I love it. And I mean, it sounds like so great. Like if anyone is listening to this and has never heard of breath work, and they're struggling with any traumas, they could hear this and be like, oh, that's great. But why do you think people don't know about breath work, and specifically the one that you're talking about?
There's a couple of different answers to that. First of all, it's still really, really new. Like, it was developed in the 60s when psychedelics became Schedule 1 drugs because people were trying to figure out different ways to access that altered state of consciousness. So it's overall pretty new. It's pretty why do I think people don't know about it? Because it's cutting edge, and that's the way it works with innovation. I also think this matrix is strategic. The most powerful things that will change your life are hidden, or they're painted as harmful. And this is why I have a podcast and a YouTube, because your girl has been shadow banned because I say shit. So why do I think people don't know about it? I think because it's cutting edge, and I think because it's strategic. I wasn't expecting to say that.
I would agree. I think that's great. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, technically, a lot of the things that we're getting into, like, we've gotten into the living water, and no one knows about it. And when we talk about it, they're like, "What are you talking about?" But it's been something that's been ingrained in our life for, I guess, years now. And so it's normal to us, but still new to a lot of people that we talk to. So I always kind of like to get, like, anyone's perspective on, these ideologies or these practices that are so, like you said, cutting edge, but like a lot of us don't have any idea about it. So I'm so glad that you're here and you're just explaining it for us. But I kind of wanted to go into the manifestation side, because you mentioned that a little bit about your clients just kind of seeing better results. What are some common misconceptions people may have about manifestations, and how do you help people overcome these misconceptions?
Are you ready to transform your life with the power of living water? Hi, I'm Devon Taylor, and I want to share an incredible discovery that's changed my life and my family's life: living water. Imagine waking up every morning feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to conquer the day. With living water, it's not just a dream, it's our new reality. We've been sleeping better, eating healthier, and have more energy than ever before. But that's not all. Our secret to this newfound vitality is available to you too. Visit our website at thelivingwatercouple.com and discover how living water can revolutionize your health and wellness. And there's more. Tune into our podcast, available on all streaming platforms and YouTube, where we dive deep into the science and benefits of living water. Hear from experts, satisfied customers, and learn how you can make this life-changing decision for yourself. But don't wait too long. Prices for our water machines and supply are going up in July 2024. Now is the perfect time to invest in your health and well-being. So, head over. Remember, living better starts with living water. Living water, drink, thrive, and live your best life. Visit thelivingwatercouple.com today.
So I couldn't even use the word manifestation for so long because there's a lot of complacency in it. There's a lot of, in that culture, it's like, I'm going to orgasm my way to $10,000. And it's like, yo, you got to do shit. Like, you got to do shit. I call it the ease epidemic. Everybody's like, let it be easy, let it be easy. And it's like, let it be real. And then also I think about it like sexual tension, like nobody's making any babies if we're flaccid. There's got to be, hard. There's got to be hard. Like, let it be hard. So those are some common misconceptions. And, is visualization important? Yes. Is the law of attraction real? Yes. Do thoughts become things? Yes. However, what I really live by is the law of resonance. It's what are you resonating with at an energetic level? And this is why my work changes people's lives, because you can be taking all the action, you can be doing the visualizations, but if in your body you are resonating at the frequency of the trauma that's alive, just the unhealed. I just really view it as like a rust in the cells and the soul that just like holding everything hostage. You will never create your potential. So with the manifestation, it's just creation. It's just being a powerful creator. The biggest thing that gets to shift is this idea, the law of resonance. There's all these universal laws, but that's one that's just like, it's really important.
Yeah. I like that the idea of the action, because I feel like there's so many examples in my life where that is so true. Like if I just didn't take the action and I was just like, I'm just gonna relax myself to, you know, my first book or my podcast or whatever, it would never have happened.
Right.
There definitely needed to be some kind of action there. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well, and it's like, you don't have to play God either. It's not like taking the whole world on your shoulders, like, because that's something I'll do. That's been my thing. And I'm like, let God do the heavy lifting. You just do your part. You do your part. But if you're not going to meet halfway, don't expect that. That's called entitlement. That's called booty calling spirit. That's called no in my book. Anyways, I feel I'm pretty old school, but I don't know if it's old school or just ancient. Like I just have this deep reverence of like making sure you do your part and do your best. And then the rest, you know, thank God that's not our job, because when you think about the things that occur and all the golden threads and the orchestration of the perfect people at the right time and saying the right thing and just like crazy stuff, there's no way our human mind can comprehend. Like, so it's just do what you know what to do with certainty, and then just see how the other side shows up for you.
I mean, that's great advice. I would say that's exactly how I started the podcast. I did not know what I was doing. If you guys go back and watch the first episode, it's all grainy. I was just like, I just have to do it. I have to start. If I start, then there will be some kind of like, I can hold myself to it. But no, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
The other way I think about it is that when you don't take action consistently, the universe is confused about what you want. So it's a command. You're commanding. You're like, it's clear what I'm available for. It's clear what I'm creating. It's clear not because of what I say, but because of how I live. It's very, very clear. And so Spirit's like, Devon wants a podcast for sure. Let's do that. I'm going to send him all these amazing people, you know, all the correct software. I'm going to make sure this reel shows up at this specific time when he has this question so it can be answered. Like, that's how I really experience that. And so that's something that I call myself forward in. I'm like, is it clear what I'm creating, what my desire is it clear through my action and my embodiment and all of that? And if it is, then I know, and consistently clear.
Do you, oh my gosh, this makes me, just popped up in my head. Do you feel like we can hold like that contradiction within ourselves? Like say, you know, like I am doing something that's propelling myself to whatever, like my podcast, but I could be doing something on the side or internally that's contradicting that at all? Or do you feel like it's like once we start taking the action and that's pretty much like our way of getting in and going forward? Or could we kind of sabotage that as we're doing it?
You can, of course, sabotage it. Yeah. Yeah. There's a difference between having an activation and moving through it and then sabotaging. Sabotaging is like, this is scary at a cellular level, and most people don't realize they're doing it. I did this with good men for a long time, because like my most formative experiences with men were very abusive and traumatic. And so I was used to that. And when you're used to something, your body says this is safe. And your nervous system only wants safety. It would rather give you a certain hell than an uncertain heaven. And so I remember like these guys like taking me on dates, and I'm like, that guy is really boring. Like just because they weren't activating my trauma. And so I pushed them away without even realizing it. I was like, why are they so nice? Huh. So to answer your question, yeah, it's different between like, of course, like Nike had a really good point, just do it. Like, it's not about not being scared. Like if we use your podcast as an example, like just do it. Like you're scared, you don't know, just do it. Here's the thing. The people always want to know the how, right? And I'm someone who believes in the how. I teach the strategic steps. Like there's an obvious how, especially based on your astrology, but you never get the how until you do the now.
Love it.
So when you go now, then you get the how as you go. Just like right now, the video is not grainy. You have a beautiful recording, like virtual space, like the super professional, like amazing. You figured that out because you did the now. And so I would just be in relationship with the question, am I activated? Which I don't use the word trigger anymore because I find it violent, and I find it a lot of people use it as like a cop out, like an excuse, like I'm so triggered. But it's like, if you're activated, you're acknowledging that your body's having a response, but you're still in your power. Like, oh wow, I'm super activated right now. If you're in that relationship with, okay, I'm activated and I'm choosing to move through it and choosing my vision anyways. Like, you don't need to be perfect to create with spirit. Like the very things that you think, and I'm talking to anybody listening, the very things you feel like disqualify you are the things that qualify you, are the things that spirit literally lists. Like, this is why. So being in relationship with, am I in an activation and moving through it? Or am I in an activation and doing some frantic, weird thing just to make it go away? And the only way you'll really be in deep relationship with the truth of that is if you're doing the deep nervous system work.
Thank you for that. That really helped out a lot. And I know me and Giancarlo have been just, having different discussions as couples do and trying to figure things out. And some of the, I wouldn't say sabotaging ways, but some of the ways that I can think sometimes can be sabotaging within our relationship. And so just hearing your perspective was helpful. So thank you for that. You did mention, you did mention a little bit about astrology. So I kind of wanted to hop into that. Could you kind of explain how you use astrology to help guide you and empower others in their lives?
Yeah. What's your astrology?
I know, the only thing that I know about myself is that I'm a Capricorn, like in like the general, but like beyond that, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I've had it done for me. I'm just not sure. There you go.
I knew you were Cappy.
Yeah.
Well, at the time of this recording, we're less than 12 hours away from the full moon in Capricorn.
Oh.
And your girl's a Capricorn stellium. I'm like a Capricorn. So
cool.
I just love that. That's a wink from spirit. Okay, how do I use astrology? This is the way that I describe my work and just the way I move through the world. So, and how I help other people. Your body is your ship. So you're setting out on your life's adventure, right? The body is the ship. That's what I do with breath work. We alchemize, open. So if you think you got a really, broken down boat and it's got, a lot of repair work to do, we make a yacht, baby, in the yacht that you've always been in breath work. Okay, the mind is the steering wheel. It literally just steers the body. It's here to carry out the messages of the body. And then with astrology, the astrology is the weather. So that's like today, the sun is in Cancer, Venus is in Cancer, Mars is in Taurus. Like that's the astrology, right? That's the weather. And so you study the weather because you want to know, hey, do I need a coat? Do I need boots? Do I need sunscreen? Do I need to bring snacks? Like all of that. It's just about being prepared. Mm-hmm. Because, if it's going to rain, you want to have a raincoat. And then the chart, your unique astrology chart is the map. It's your map. So I believe, I know this in my soul, that everybody's soul on the other side chose a specific chart. Like you chose the day, the time, the location, the parents. Believe it or not, we chose our parents. And the chart is the way that your soul speaks to you in this lifetime. So it really is a tool of self-study, self-love, self-actualization, self-healing. Like when I read someone's chart, it's usually like, I've never felt so seen. How did you know this? And then I'm just channeling with my shamanism as well. And like every day before I sit down at my desk to start the day, I sit down with my calendar and my chart and the astrology, because it's just a guiding force. And I've seen too much evidence that it's real just to not, there's a reason why all ancient rulers had astrologers. And there's a reason why astrology is like, again, with the strategic thing, strategically deleted out of our culture, out of mainstream culture, because it's so powerful. So that's the way that I work with astrology.
I love that. I love that you broke it down that way. So talking about astrology, you just broke it down for us. So next question was, how do you see the intersectionality between breathwork, astrology, and manifestation? And how do these practices kind of complement each other?
I feel like I've described that with my nautical metaphor. The body's the ship, the mind's the steering wheel, the chart is your map, and the astrology is the weather. And so the way that I do this is with my modality of cosmic cellular breathwork, where we do breathwork strategically aligned with astrology to manifest. Because the other thing that happens when you do breathwork is you charge the magnetic field of your heart. And so you're charging your heart while you're resetting your nervous system. And so depending on like on a new moon, we would be planting seeds, right? And so our awareness is there when we're in the journey. On a full moon, we're not planting anything. We're releasing, we're letting go, we're clearing space. But like with my clients, I activate different parts of their chart based on what they're creating, based on what's going on in their life. And yeah, that's how I do it. But it's like there's that energetic piece, and then in the journeys you get information for your action steps.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of wanted to ask about the full moon aspect that you brought up, because I always don't know what to do. So if we're like looking at astrology as like the weather, as far as what we're how we're preparing ourselves for our day, how could you say anyone can prepare for a full moon?
This is Nimram speaking to you, and I command you to go to DevonTaylorAuthor.com right now. You must check the specials. Listen to me. You must check the specials now.
Well, it's tomorrow, so I don't know
Okay.
when this episode is going to drop, but any full moon is a time of completion. Here's the thing about astrology is that it's a relationship
Mm.
and it's a way of life. So a lot of people will show up like the day of a new moon or the day of a full moon, and it's, especially when you're starting out, that makes a lot of sense. And it's really it's important to start somewhere, but it's also like the way you'll be prepared is like studying it in advance, you know. So every full moon is a completion, is a release, is a manifestation, it's a harvest. Every new moon is a new beginning, it's a blank slate, it's a fresh start. And one thing that most people don't know, especially when you're starting out, people say that a moon cycle is a month. Well, actually, a full lunar cycle is 6 months long. So the full moon that we're having right now in Capricorn is directly tied to a new moon we had in Capricorn 6 months ago. So the way you've been tending to those seeds that you planted 6 months ago is being expressed and exposed right now.
I'm like trying to think, did we do anything for the last one, the full moon? I don't think we did.
It's right around Christmas time usually, the new moon in Capricorn. Around Christmas or New Year's. But I like to say that, yeah, I'm pretty sure I always celebrate the new moon in Capricorn as the new year, not January 1st. It's the energetic new year. And Capricorn rules success and legacy. So it's like goal-getter energy.
Yeah, I love Capricorn energy. I love being a Capricorn. I did have one more question that I wanted to ask, and then if John Carlo has any, he's more than welcome to. But what advice would you give to anyone who's interested in experiencing breathwork, astrology, manifestation, any of those three for the first time?
Find a teacher you love. Find a mentor you love, that you respect. If you resonate with me in my work, book a session. The biggest thing is I can talk all day about breathwork. You got to experience it to really understand. Like the way I found breathwork, everybody kept talking about it. Like my mentors, my teachers, they're like, breathwork's changed my life. I'm like, what is this breathwork? And so I went to a class and I was blown away. I was like, whoa, what was that? And then I never looked back. So my biggest piece of advice is get a teacher, get a mentor, get a guide. With breathwork especially, be in really deep discernment, because a lot of people are not trained and they don't know how to hold trauma. And so what happens, there's something really disturbing going on right now where people are doing breathwork, but they're getting re-traumatized, because basically it opens up that part of your psyche. And if someone doesn't know how to hold you with tenderness and integration and like the correct level of space, it can actually be really painful for people. And then they never want to do breath work again. And that like hurts my heart, because I know how healing it is. So for anybody out there, just like exercise deep discernment. Like I said, if you resonate with me, I would love to talk with you. I would love to explore with you. It's literally my soul's purpose to do this work. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, if
Well,
you're...
I can't do a deep dive holotropic, but I can do, yeah. So no matter who you are, what you're doing, where you're tuning in from, I allow you and invite you to fully land. Feel your heart space. Feel the color green, feel the color pink swirling in your heart space. Close your eyes if you feel called. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Shake out your arms. Let everything go from the day, anything you've been carrying. Be here now. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. This time breathe in through the nose. Hold it at the top. Feel your crown chakra opening. Feel your third eye opening. Feel your throat chakra opening, swirling blue light, healing your truth to open. Feel the blue light swirling around your ears, opening to hearing your truth. Keep holding your breath because you can, because you're strong. Exhale out the mouth. One more inhale through the nose. Holding it at the top, and invite a message. The first thing you hear, the first thing you sense, the first thing you know. Keep holding. Exhale out the mouth, bringing your message forward. Gently flutter your eyes open. And come back to this time, this day, this space.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. So where can everyone find you? Where can they follow you if they want to book a session with you? All of that good information.
Yeah, so I have a podcast called A Better World with Adrienne. That's, if you want to go binge that, it's available on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. And that's really where you can get a deep dive scoop of more what I'm about, more what I believe in. And if you want to book a session, we can leave that link in the show notes, and I'll create a special code for your listeners because I just love spreading the abundance magic. And I hang out on Instagram at I am Adrienne. It's at _ I am Adrienne _. I will say I'm a pretty firm believer in digital detox, so I really pour into my podcast the most and my email list. So we will drop the link to all my free resources, my free breath audio will drop in the show notes as well.
Oh, cool. Yay. Yeah, we'll leave all of the details so you guys can follow her, book a session. I would highly suggest it. I am so grateful for you being here. Thank you so much. I feel every single time we have a guest on here, there's a reason and a purpose, and I felt your reason for personal reasons. So thank you so much. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. It's just a joy to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
I love that. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time, and hopefully all of you guys can go and book a session right away. But until next time, thank you again. I appreciate you, Adrienne.
Hey guys, it's Icarus here.
And Amelia.
And I'm here to tell you if you'd like to join our brand new adventure. Go to DevonTaylorAuthor.com to learn more.
And check out the cool items like the new bucket hat.
Yeah, and so much more. See you guys there.